Alright, it's time for Citizen Sleeper 2, who just released today. Um, I realized that when I played Citizen Sleeper 1, I didn't really talk much about my thoughts on the game, mostly saying it was pretty okay. So I think I should talk about a bit more about Citizen Sleeper 1, so we can see the differences with Citizen Sleeper 2. Um, the first game was pretty good, it was alright. Mostly it lacked a bit in choices. The game was pretty much linear until you get to the end, the choosing your endings part. It was the most obvious with the expansion with the refugees, where people they make an illusion of choice for in the first part of the DLC where you have the supply run, and the Haven Age Helene person comes and talks to you about, oh, maybe you shouldn't do it, maybe you shouldn't, and I tried the most I could to not do the supply run, and it still happened. For example, even though I picked literally all of the options that said I don't agree, it's not a good idea, you're stupid, that's not gonna work out. The most other things I could have done is just not help out with the supply run. And also the writing was a bit. It's like just over the edge of ham-fisted versus subtle. It's usually I think it's because of the way the game was writing from your character's perspective, and your character, it wasn't like they didn't have any opinions or thoughts about the situation. They had really strong thoughts about the situations and the feelings and stuff. So your character would usually just fill in what the situation made them feel like. Anyway, hopefully we can get some better writing and choices making in Citizen Sleeper 2. Apart from that, it was pretty good. I like the universe, I like the music. The music was a good. The gameplay mechanics was really fun for a not visual novel and a narrative adventure game. So let's play and see how it turns out. Oh, there's a difficulty. Let me see. For those who focus on the story, low risk. Broken dices are worth one. Higher stress tolerance. Death is disabled. Data difficulty for those who are happy to be challenged. Broken dices cannot be used. Standard stress tolerance. Death incurs a significant permanent penalty. Alright. We're gonna be dying. And we get to choose a class. Push. Wait, what? What's the class? Extractor, operator, machinist. Um. Is it gonna be this? It's probably gonna be different than the last one. In this game, we're going to be a different sleeper who's on a ship in the Starward belt. What would be good for being on a ship? Focus. Accrue stress to focus on action dice. Focus configuration. +1 stress, +2 and focus lowest dice. -1 stress on focus die, positive outcome. That sounds pretty good. Let's see. Engineer. You get a bunch of debuffs on engage. Here you have a bunch of debuffs. The operator, for working with drones. Accrue stress to reroll your action dice. +1 stress, reroll the lowest dice. But the other one also has a positive. Oh, doggy. There goes the doggy. And over here, accrue stress to boost your crew dice. Extractor. I think I'm gonna take a machinist. I like the idea of giving a +2 and focus. I don't know what focus does, but a +2 sounds pretty good, especially for having a -1 if we get a good outcome. Alright. Machinists are sleepers built to repair and modify automated systems used in corporate resource extractions. Machinists are very skilled engineers, but their isolated work means they often struggle with tasks requiring a direct approach or social engagement. Their focus skills allow them to focus on a single task and boost their dice to excel in it. Sleepers assigned to machinist works are usually diligent, careful, and structured people. Let's go. In the moment before you wake, the dark space before consciousness thoughts. Well, in the moment, well, in the moment before you wake, the dark space before conscious thoughts, you struggle to find the pieces of yourself. Usually, these pieces come in with a particular cadence, each appearing sequentially, like the boot process of an old terminal. First, your body, artificial, compromised, but relaying sense data all the same. Then it's context, the breeze of air infiltration, the soft contact of your birth in 0G. Then emotion, coming into focus, coming into your body, bringing with it that first instinct, the one that has framed you for your past 100 cycles, fear. 100 cycles, huh? But that familiar sequence does not arrive. Instead, you are unmoored in space, your body distant, your context silent, even your emotions somehow obscured and scattered. Among all the disarray, only one familiar thing arrives: fear. It's a scrambled, panicked fear, the drowning fear, the falling fear, the fear that makes you reach desperately for any stable point. It is the fear that tells you that something is wrong, something is very wrong with you. Wake up, sleeper. The voice is whispered in your ear, an act that makes you suddenly aware of your head, pulsing in pain, your body rigid with tension. Sleeper, a familiar name, a mind copied, emulated, a body built, implanted. One person sleeping under their death until their death is worked away. A double being made to work to be consumed and eventually to be destroyed. A proxy, an emulation, a sleeper. That is what you are. But you escaped. You remember that now. Broke free of your corporate creators, SNARP, in search of a future. You cannot remember the details of your escape, but you know that fear has been with you ever since. All of a sudden you remember you have eyes, and your eyes flicker open. Pale eyes and a pale face. Lane. The name comes with its own specific sensation of fear, one you recoil with instinctively. Sorry to interrupt, but this ends here. Lane, relentless, cruel, and on your trail. You search your mind for more than a name. Is this how you reward me for my generosity? Lane is leaning over your horizontal floating body, looking down into your eyes. I took you in, protected you, gave you a purpose. You try to look away to the corners of your vision, but to find something you understand. Your body does not respond, but I suppose this wasn't enough. He reaches into the pocket of his jacket and retrieves a small vial. This wasn't enough? The vial glitters, this object you know, and have known for a long time, stabilizer. The drug that keeps your artificial body, your emulated mind, from inevitable decay. The only balm for your planned obsolescence. The liquid rolling in the vial fills you with disgust. Lane pockets the vial, but it would be wasted on you now, after what you have done to this body of yours. He looks at you with palpable disgust. Lane's eyes scan your body, and as they do, you become aware of the wires and tubes attached to you. Those that were meant to free you from your dependence, from the stabilizer and the control it grants Lane. They are free, you piece of shit. They don't need you anymore. The voice comes from somewhere behind Lane's head. It's a voice you know, but when you search your mind to try to understand it, to try to understand why, you find only dizzying darkness. Shut him up. Lane barks a command, and you hear the sounds of impact, of pain, from somewhere in the room. You try to move your limbs again, then this time you feel a flicker, the twitch of a finger. You feel the extension and compression of a synthetic muscle. Free, are you? Lane smirks. You were free when I disabled your tracker, when I gave you the stabilizer you needed. He scans your body with an angry eye. Now you aren't free, you're just broken. I had such big plans for you, Sleeper. I invested in you. Lane grips your arm hard, and you feel a jolt of reaction. You will the arm to move. But you have ruined all that. Lane speaks louder over the sound of the struggle behind him. I will try to preserve your body, of course. I have my own uses for it. But your emulation? You feel one of his hands searching behind your head. He finds and grips the thick cable running into the port in the base of your skull. I'll burn that out. Lane jerks forward, slamming across your body and spinning away at your side. You feel yourself rolling, the cables plugged into you, looping and wrapping around your limbs. Then you feel a hand steadying you, pulling the cables. You glance around wildly and see someone digitally unplugging you. You meet his eyes. Hey, he wears a hand in your dazed face. We need to move. Excuse me. Lane won't be out for long. He unloops a cable from around your wrist. Sleeper, help me here. You blink slowly. Do you know this person? He leans over you and you feel his hand on the connector, flicking switches, releasing locks. Come on, come on, come on. He tugs the connector clear and pulls you up. You see the room you are in for the first time, filled with the tech and terminals. Wires waving everywhere. All lit by big windows looking out on an impossibly bright, screen-filled street beyond. In the corner, you see the dark shape of a floating body, surrounded by glittering constellations of crimson baubles. Is that blood? Move! You're wrestled and shoved towards the door, which slides open in front of you, and then you are out in all the brightness, all the movement, gliding hard towards some unknown destination. You come to a stop in a dark alley. The one who guided you here is pausing to catch his breath. He doubles over beside the massive life support unit that sends a lukewarm breeze across your skin. You stare at him, trying to recall anything about him. You notice his tattered jacket, his lightweight clothes. You remember that the station runs hot. Something about the power that flows through this place. He looks up and meets your eyes. What's going on, Sleeper? He wipes sweat from his forehead, and it floats away in the swarms of spheres. Talk to me. Who are you? You see a concerned frown across his face. Don't mess with me, Sleeper. That's not funny. He comes closer, eyeing you carefully. What station are we on? He narrows his eyes, waits for the answer. You close your eyes trying to recall. You force your way through the dark to the image of a station. Now, a city. Growing on the back of a vast cell of hexagonal solar cells. Shadowed by them, you open your eyes. Dark side. The word leaves your mouth like an exhale, an instinct. Before you heard yourself sound it out, you didn't know it was there. He sighs. And me, who am I? You see something like fear in his eyes. Panic, perhaps. You stare hard at his face, the slight upturn of his mouth, the intensity of his stares. Nothing comes. He closes his eyes and drops his head, putting a hand to his temple. Hit the reboot. He is speaking quietly to himself. Lane interrupted the process, and he lifts his head and stares at you. We need to keep going. We need to leave. He turns and kicks off down the alley. Come on, the rig can't be far. As you are led through the passage and service ways on the station, you try to recall your life here. The texture, the temperature of dark sides feels familiar, but you struggle to pin specific memories to it. Focusing hard, you recall waking up in these passages, cycle after cycle. The rhythm of the station flowing over you along with the crowds. You recall desperations and the slow decay of your body that caused it. And Lane helped us? Then Lane, those pale eyes, offering you a glittering vial, stabilizer. The promise of supplying you more for your work. A deal he locked into you like a cage. There your memory fails you, but in the dark beyond that moment, the residue of panic, of fear remains. You are Lane's prisoners, Lane's plaything. You shudder in the cold passage. Wait. Your guide holds up a hand, and you stop to your... Excuse me. Your guide holds up a hand, and you stop your glide using the wall. Are we in 0G? Ahead, you see the tunnel open up into a wide open bay, with a few doors leading to cylindrical tunnels, the docks. They're watching the rig. He nods towards the docks, and you see one of the doors has a couple of figures flanking it, one covered in ornate tattoos, the other with bright silver implants along their cheekbones. Utsubo, Lane's guys. He looks at you and shakes his head with frustration. All this, it's not coming back to you, is it? Something catches your eye and you see he is playing with a coin, nervously turning it over and over in his fingers. He sees you looking and slips it away. He places a hand over his chest. I'm Seraphim, alright? He looks pained when he speaks. Lane, he was our captor, both of us. We did this so we could escape. We needed to reboot you to break your dependence on stabilizers. You know what that is, right? You nod meekly. But Lane interrupted me back there. The reboot didn't complete, and he sighs and shakes his head. We can still make this work. You look back at the docks. I'll lead them away. You get to the docking bridge open. If we make it to the rig, I know how to get us in. Got that? He searches your face for a sign of recognition. What's the rig? Seraphim looks annoyed. A ship. Our ship. Or at least it soon will be. They assigned it to us when we were on jobs for him. Get that door open. He pats you on the shoulder. I know you can do this. Seraphim kicks over hard and glides into the docks. Over here, shitheads, he bellows and the guards as he barrels through. They immediately push off the walls, giving him chase. Boo. During scenes, you may encounter skill checks where you can perform certain actions using your skills. Like dice actions you encounter later. Skill checks can have positive, neutral, or negative outcome. The better the rating of your skill, the more likely you will have to succeed. The odds of success are displayed when you check. You can see more info in the guide. You wait a breath, then glide across the door they were guarding. You look, already panicked, at the tightly sealed door, its control panel locked out. You hear a shout from somewhere nearby. You need to get it open. Engineer, break the seal. Yay, minus stress. Whatever that is. You shift to the central access panel and wrench it open. It only takes a moment to understand the mechanism, and you reach in and snap the locking bleh. You reach in and snap the locking axis, the door popping open with a hiss. Go, go! Seraphin flies past you, through the doorway, into the docking tunnel. You turn to see the two guards approaching from across the docks, and quickly glide after Seraphin. Seraphin is already at the rig's door, inputting an entry code. The rig's door scissors open, and both of you rush inside. Quickly, Seraphin grabs you by the arm and drags you into the cockpit. Drags you up to the cockpit. The ship's layout hazy in your mind. He dumps you in a flight seat and straps himself into his own. You see him tap a series of buttons as he does, talking to himself. Come on. The rig's drive rumbles into life, and Seraphin slams a button on the controls. You feel the force of the ship accelerations as it pulls away. Pew. As the ship glides into place on the connecting bridge, its automatic system nudged there by the port's docking control, you feel a sense of relief. I got my dices. Seraphin burned hard out of the dark side, and you dropped in and out of consciousness in your seat as the rig made its way across the belt. But now with open space between you and Lane, you feel fresher, more awake. Seraphin breaks the silence. We're good, sleeper. His eyes don't leave the monitor, and you realize that part of your escape is routine for him. You and he must have docked this ship countless times in your work for Lane. The problem is you don't remember any of them. We made it, he whispers, closing his eyes and letting out a sigh. We did. He turns and you see a pained look on his face, as if remembering something difficult. Have you said exactly the same thing to him before in the same situation? Are you okay? He looks at you, chewing on one side of his lips, searching for your face. Not really, he puffs. Seraphin reaches up, flicking through a set of switches in a practiced fashion, completing the shutdown. You watch it all frustrated with your own uselessness. Running the rig, you realize it's just another thing you've forgotten. A clunk that runs through the walls of the ship is followed by a short percussive alarm from the pilot's console, docking complete. Seraphin kicks off from his seat, twisting as he glides past you towards the back of the cockpit. His hands find the rails on either side of the door and he pauses, facing the corridor beyond. He turns back to you, backlit in cold cyan. We need a plan. He glances around. Lane's not going to let us slip away quietly. We need to talk. Seraphin froze his brows. Not now, sleeper. We need to forget. He finishes, the words coming out wrong. We need to focus on something other than us. We need to survive this thing first, then maybe we talk. That's not fair. Seraphin's eyes flash. What isn't fair, sleeper, is that I just gave up everything for someone who can barely remember my name. He tenses at his own unexpected anger. You are not doing this. Not now. Okay, no spoilers, I get it. He closes his eyes and looks down. Just let me think. I need to think. We have brought ourselves some time. He glances through the cockpit window and the blinking light of the station. You may not remember export, but I do. And there are plenty of opportunities here for us, if we can keep our heads down. That's what we'll do. He pushes off and glides towards the main clocks, and you follow, pulling yourself along, hand over hand in 0G. We already emptied the tank on this thing. He slaps a hand on the inside. He slaps a hand against the ship's sides. So we need to refuel. That won't be cheap. But if you and I know one thing, sleeper, it's how to work. I'm gonna get myself reacquainted. See if I can turn up any old connections, people that might throw us an easy contract. You keep out of trouble. Low profile. Seraphin stops at the airlock, stopping the reboot halfway through. He pulls a worn crew jacket from the locker and starts pulling it on you. We don't know what that did to you. He jams an arm into the sleeve. I don't want you passing out in... I'll be fine. Seraphin drops his head, swearing to himself. He grabs another crew jacket and thrusts it at you. Just put the damn hood up, will you? You take it and slip it on. Thanks. Seraphin nods. He stabs at the button to open the lock. Hey, doggo. The dog is here too. The inner door slides open, and Seraphin glides through. Wait for a little bit, then leave. Anyone looking for us will be looking for two people traveling together. Doggo. He looks at you in your worn crew jacket, a limited disguise for what is clearly a sleeper. We meet back here later. Any trouble? Same thing. Meet here. He surveys your disguise again and shakes his head. This is a shitty idea. He gives you one last look. Maybe find yourself something to eat. Suddenly you recognize Seraphin's instinct to look up after you. A flash of a relationship now lost to the reboot. Catch. Seraphin throws a handful of something towards you. You manage to grab the projectiles, and when you open your eyes, you see a stack of cryo shits. Those should get you some food. We'll need some more. We'll need some more for fuel. Bleh. We'll need some more for fuel and supplies. That means odd jobs on the station for both of us. Seraphin kicks off and glides down at the docking bridge. Don't go too far, alright? Take it slow. And with that, he is gone, leaving the connecting bridge and heading into Export's docking concourse. You wait for a moment in silence. Think about Lane. The airlock suddenly seems all too quiet. Lane had a way of lowering the temperature in a room, of bringing all attention into focus on his target of choice. You don't remember him thinking of him as a protector, a savior, but you know you once did. All you know him now as a pursuer, a tormentor, a nightmare. You shake the thoughts from your head and pull the jacket tight. Let's see what Export has to offer. Welcome to Citizen Sleeper 2. The game runs in cycle, during which you can perform actions with your dice, use cryo, progress clocks towards new scenes and events. You can review the tutorial at any time. I can use the mouse wheel to look around. Let's look at my stats. Welcome to the character screen. Here you can upgrade and configure your sleeper. On the left, you can upgrade your skills to improve your skill modifier when you use dices. To the right, you can upgrade your push, the unique ability of your class. When upgrading your push, only one upgrade at each level can be active. And you can reactivate stuff. So it looks like I'm never going to be able to upgrade Engage. Are those just... Okay, so I don't get any more special bonuses from my skills. It's always from the push. -1 stress on focus die, positive outcome. Or +1. I can get a +1 to the affected die, so -1 stress on focused dies, positive outcome. And I can keep pushing it. I can make it a +1 and a +1. Minus stress effect on neutral and positive outcome. Push costs glitch, not stress. Alright. Glitch. Push. Condition thingy markers. Map. Belt unavailable. 0 fuel, 2 supplies. No drives. Fuel. Hydrogen fuel for short-range engine use. Volatile. Supplies. Food, water, and basic materials packed and sealed for 0G use. The rig. The rig is your ship and home at the Starward belt. While the rig is docked at the hub, there are multiple areas you can visit. Bunks. You can use dices to reduce stress. Galley. Use supplies to regain energy. Other locations will unlock as you play. While the rig is docked at the hub, your crew will also help gather resources to contribute to the upkeep of the ship. You can choose which resources they focus on in the crew task menu to the left. They have a random chance of acquiring it at the beginning of the following cycle. This is a cycle clock, it will progress. The galley for eating food. The bunks for stress. Seraphin is currently doing odd jobs for money purposes. Sure. The docks or the exchange. Well, we'll need to find a job first before we start buying stuff. Citizen Sleeper 2, you perform actions by assigning action dice to them. The higher the dice, the more likely they are to succeed. Well, your dice will be modified by your skill. Your skill modifier for the action is displayed on the right, and it will reduce or increase the value of the dice. Like skill checks, dice actions have 3 outcomes: positive, negative, and neutral. Each action is rated safe, risky, or dangerous, or is the same as the first game. Gotta export the port. This gives us a -2 because it's an engage action. Let's try this one. Exploring is both thrilling and intimidating. Export's docks are a dizzying mess of braided cables, flickering signage, filled with busy spacers. Hey, positive. +3. You just progress the clock? Yeah. And over here, I have a +1 over here in the trade scrap. Trading scrap is about identifying materials and cleaning up components, and it's an engineer's job more than a trader's. So I can learn the rules of the exchange. Neutral outcome. Lost a bit of cryo. Okay. Let me try a 2 here. Okay, now we know the exchange, but we lost a lot of money. And we can know the port too. Up. Boom, and now we know all the places. As you're gliding across the docking concourse, you hear a scuffle. The noise of raised voices cuts through the conversation drifting out into dockship shops. Gazing down an alley, you see a huddle of figures shouting back and forth. You spot one man in the middle of the group, surrounded and pushing the others back as they grab at the bags slung over his shoulder. You don't like the way it looks, but then again, Serpent told you to keep your head down. Cause a distraction. Hey, positive. You look around for something that could break up the fight. You see the thick cooling pipes running down the alley wall. You quickly try to understand the system and choose a valve to start spinning. As you do, the system begins to vent in sequence down the alley, violent jets approaching the group. There's a scramble in the alley and you spot the figure who was being attacked drop down to the alley floor. Then the scene is blanketed in pale coolant and everything goes still. The cloud settles and condenses on the pipes. As they do, you see a clear alley. The assailants have fled with one figure gliding towards you. Femi, a salvager captain. I suppose you think that was clever. You're either very smart or very lucky that those jets missed me. Which is it? I was trying to help. Well, thanks, I guess. He kicks off and drifts past you. You watch the man go, and then after a moment he stops and turns back. He rubs his forehead, looking down as he does. What's your deal anyway? Maybe you're new here, but export is no place for do-gooders. I know what it's like. You get beat up. Exports got real rough. Look, let's not hang around, alright? I'm Femi. He unshoulders one of the bags and pushes it towards you. Make yourself useful, let's head. You get the strap of the bag over your shoulder and follow him to the docks, gliding past the concourse towards the connecting bridges. He cuts down a side passage, looking back to check you are following. Then he stops at the docking bridge connecting to a dull green ship with yellow markings. You look out at the viewing window. It's at its odd catamaran-like shape, seemingly built from two separate hulls welded together. Symbol crash, he says, and you assume that's the ship's name. Nia is here. Femi, you bringing in any strays? A young woman, brightly dressed and stretching as she glides, drifts into the passage. She glances at you, no offense. Nia. Femi shakes his head. This one. He squeezes your shoulder. Help me fend off some export scum while you were busy stunning yourself. Nia raised an eyebrow. I'm sure you could handle them, big brother. Her glib response hides the flash of concern that passed across her face. You can't tell if Femi noticed. Nia turns to you. Thanks, she smiles sweetly, and I'm sorry for my brother. Just in general. Nia, enough now. He reaches over and takes the bag you were carrying. Nia rolls her eyes at you, but stays silent. Factory Row wouldn't take these. Femi hefts the bags. I'm gonna load them back up. Maybe you'll find a use for them. He turns back to you. Thanks for the assist, Sleeper. Not what I expected. He stabs the button for the bridge door and kicks off along the docking bridge on his way to the symbol crash. Nia looks at you with a raised eyebrow. I hope my brother was joking, but did you really help him? I tried. Thank you. My brother needs help more than he admits. It's alright. I want to ask you something. She takes a deep breath, then gives you a direct look. What's she building up to? Are you looking for crew? She looks away. Sorry to be direct, but you seem like, well, if you're on export, maybe you're with a crew. I mean, maybe your crew needs crew. Maybe you're looking. I am. She struggles to hide her smile. Nia looks back to the ship, then at you. Look, I'll be honest. Being on the crew with my brother is nice, but he's suffocating me. She frowns at her own bluntness. I'm not a kid anymore, you know. But he still seems like he still sees me like one. I want to show him I can handle myself. Any experience. I need to run some contracts. She gives you a determined look. What do you say? Sure. I'm a good salvager, alright. You can use me. I can spot things, find gaps, ways in. She folds her arms across her chest. I know what I'm doing. Femi taught me well. She glances back at the ship. Just consider it, alright? Let me prove myself. Suddenly a shout comes from the ship, echoing down the passage. Femi. He makes both of you nervous. Nia looks in your direction. I should go. She pushes off towards the docking bridge. I'll be waiting. Nia gives you one last chance as she departs. One last glance as she departs. Then disappears into the docking bridge, leaving you alone in the passage. New local crew available. New local crew. New location discovered. The bend. Here you can eat in exchange for cryo. Eating gives you energy. Or I can play dice. Stars and Stroker. SNS is a spacer gambling game played with custom magnetic dices. Chips are stashed in symbols marked cans, and winning is ruthlessly luck-based. The warehouse. I can load some freight. That's a bad one we can't do. Wait, why do I have a -2 on Endure? What the heck? Huh. Weird. At least I can't go lower. The trade hall. I can buy fuel. I can fill fuel. I can buy supplies. I can fill supplies. We need about $100 to fill everything up. Here's the canteen. I can eat at the canteen. So we only have one job available. The warehouse. Well, time to work. The dice can't be any lower anyway. Oh, or we can gamble at Stars and Stripes. Yeah, decent. Go to the rig to reroll your dices. And cycle. Huh, we only lose energy, no more condition. Or whatever the new thing is gonna be called. And only one energy loss. I think. Yeah. Ooh, good dices. We're in trouble, Sleeper. Seraphin leads into the bunks as you're getting up. Without further explanation, he disappears down the corridor towards the radio of the ship. You drift out into the passage, pulling on your clothes and glide down the length of the rig, the cool air making you shiver. Seraphin is a silhouette still silently leading the way. He stops at the far end, diverting through a side door, shooting out glances as he does. You find Seraphin inside, holding a tangle of arm-thick tubes that are waving in the zero-G engine room. You know what these are? Fuel pipes? Close enough. These are the engine's feed lines. He waves one in the air. Before you ask, no, they aren't supposed to be waggling loose. Oh, we got sabotaged? These must have broken loose when we pushed the ship too hard on our way out of Darkside. We're lucky the reserve tank is empty, otherwise it would have been bad. But no feed from the reserve tank means that the rig's range is limited to the local region only. This thing can't take us anywhere far. What, can we not just put the tubes back in? So we fix it, that's the short of it. Seraphin whacks the engine housing again. Harder this time. Just not been our run of luck. He turns and starts gathering the tangled feed of lines, his frustration evident in the violence of this movement. Only the new set of these, that's for sure. He starts forcing them into a crate. So how about you try to track them down? I'll take another look at things here and see if I can figure out another fix for the reserve tanks. He glances up from his work. From what I have heard on Export, Factory Rose the place to find ship fitters. Maybe you can do some recon while I sort this place out. It's on the other end of the station. Alright. I'll take a look. Wait, there's something else. He drops the feed line and the float, waving in the air like tubular seaweed. I've heard word that Lane's on the hunt. The message went out everywhere in the local regions of Darkside. The dog wants out. Give me a moment. Yes, Lane is looking for us and we can't leave. But does he know we're here? Exactly, which is why we need those feed lines. I'm going to try to work something out. Maybe I can improvise a solution. I don't know. I'm no ship fitter. While I do, you go hunting. See what you can turn up, okay? Get going. We leave the engine room, the clanking sound of Seraphin's cleanup efforts echoing through the ship. Fuel feed lines, that's the next step. You take a deep breath and head out. Can I recruit more crew? You have a drive. Drives give you objectives. Drives can be 2 types, major and minor. Major give you 2 points, minor 1 point. Oh. Here's factory row. Search the row, haul materials. Do I get paid for this? Oh, that's -2 is bad. Never mind. Over here. Let's spend our dices. And now we can go for this one. Easy. Factory row halls as you glide through its cramped passages. Whatever its many bays and rooms once were, they now serve as containers for industries of every kind. Wiring manufactories precisely engineered components with rapidly shifting arms, while scrapers, hammers incessantly bend ship plates. Everywhere you look, there is energy and activity, and for good reason. Exports itself is built on the debris fragments of a solar reflector. Oh, so it's not that far from dark side in that case. And even the small amount of energy generated by its remaining mirrors is enough to power a city of machines. It's familiar to you, of course, in a strange, far-off way because of dark side. That place and your memories of it are a muddy haze, but it's hard to forget the glint of hexagonal reflectors. 10 or 20 times more numbers than Hexports, and that wild, flickering cities growing on their back like a tumor. In comparison, Hexport feels provincial, but deep in the factory row, you could almost be back in dark side. Then you see them, the tubes just like those surfing that wave in your face, the feed lines. You push over to the display window in a unit marked Karsten Supply in block capital cuts from the hull plates. There are amongst an angle shift of oversized shift components sits the feed lines, like some large biomechanical tangles of snakes. You slip inside, where the sound of factory row is a little screened. Spot a large figure working at the bench, hunched over, concentrating. It doesn't seem to notice you enter. Let's wait a bit. Karsten. You let him work, watching as, despite his heavy build, he delicately aligns the components, their layers, sorting the puzzle pieces. After a few moments of observing the process, he turns his head a little towards you. Can I help you? His accent is heavy, but unknown to you. Those feed lines. There's a sharp clink as Karsten places his tools and the components against a magnetic plate on the wall. He turns with surprised grace and begins cleaning his hands on the cloth. Those sharp eyes scan you, but Karsten's thick-set features do not betray the result of his assessment. Custom built those for a client that never collected. Look at you at his hands while he speaks, checking for stray old stains. You have one of the old MEVs then. He sounds out the letters in a way that you don't recognize as he speaks. You try to recall anything you know about your ship, but the memory eludes you. Perhaps Seraphin should have come along. MEVs. E for engine? I think so. Karsten squints a little. Right. Look. Karsten drifts over to where you are standing. His imposing height evident. For a fellow enthusiast like you, let's say a few hundred cryo clean chits. He shows a glance at the feed lines. 400, let's say, to be precise. I don't have 400. Karsten looks you up and down and sniffs. It's expensive, I know. It's a shame, but it's just what they're worth. He screws up his mouth a little into something that might be a smile. However, I'm more of a bartering type myself anyway. Bartering sounds good. He nods sagely. There's a little favor I need a crew for, and while you look like you might be a good fit. He tucks the cloth away in the pocket and claps his hand. I know of an old Solheim wreck out there, very old, pre-collapse. It's tucked away in a dead zone, so no one has ever really cut it. Not only that, but Solheim the lyrics have a habit of triggering nasty security protocols when approaching by an unfamiliar ship, so it's been left well alone. For a salvager like you, with an old Solheim rig, I bet it wouldn't even flinch if it saw you coming. I have a special interest, a need for that old tech, and those Solheim ships those Solheim ships had a data core, and while I don't care about the accounting reports or material ledgers, or whatever they keep on that dating, I do care about the hardware. So, if I was to find you back there, with that data core in your cargo hold, clean cut and complete, well, I would see my way to doing a straight barter for those feed lines. He sniffs the air again. You just need the coordinates. Let's do it. Alright then, he holds out a heavy hand for you to shake, and as you automatically reach out, he grabs your forearm instead. He pulls you closer, squeezing your arm. Let's keep this one between us, alright? He half smiles, his face huge and close. It's our deal. Before you can respond, he thumbs a little drive into your palm. Those coordinates. Then he lets go of your arm with what you swear is a wink. You take a moment to gather yourself, and by the time you do, a whirring fills the air, Karsten having returned to his workbench. You turn and glide out of Karsten's supplies with a growing mix of anxiety and excitement in the pit of your stomach and a cacophony of factory row in your ears. A contract. Seraphin might be impressed. You look at the drive in your palm and smile. This could be a route out. You think of leaving this place behind in the possession of an improved ship, too. Suddenly a small but firm hand falls on your back, an equally small voice coming with it. Hey, wait up! Junie. You turn in the passage to see a young woman, her hair waving from the rapid glide she just clearly came out of to catch you. She steadies herself using her shoulder. Sorry, wanted to catch you. I'm Junie. Her dark eyes flick around nervously. You notice a portable terminal she carries, something data scrappers call a deck, and a backpack full of components and training wires. What's up? Karsten, he sent me to grab you. She smiles with a flat smile again. Wants me to come with you on the job. Her eyes shoots down to the drives in the palm of your hand. She smiles again. What did he tell me? She glances back towards Karsten. I guess he forgot? He does that sometime. She looks sheepishly at you. He just grabbed me after you two were done talking, so... Karsten's always sending me Karsten's always sending me on things like this. I guess he wants me to help you out. Keep an eye on things. That can be pretty helpful. So, should I meet you at your ship, and you can tell me when you're ready to go? Not sure. She looks nervous. Sure, I mean, you aren't sure when you're leaving? I'm not sure you're coming. She pauses to think. I mean, Karsten said I needed to go. She glances back in the shop's direction, and he does get pretty mad when people don't do what he asks. Well, whatever. Look, she glances around. You're going to need me out there. There's a reason There's a reason that the verdict was left alone. I specialize in Solheimer X. I can help you out. We'll get you what you need. Whatever. She smiles a weak smile. Junie pushes off and waves. Look forward to working with you. What about the ship? Well, I'll find it. You watch her go, glad of the contract but nervous too. Will Karsten keep up his side of the bargain if you deliver? New crew available. And now we're back to the rig. I don't know about this sleeper. Serafin looks around nervously out of the rig's window as you finish explaining Karsten's deal as well as Junie's offer to help. If this job was easy, Karsten would have done it himself already. That means there's a catch. And there's definitely something going on with the Junie girl. What shows do we have? What if we could get the crowd together to buy the feed line? Is that possible? I found a contract board at the exchange further in station. We take on the job, that might get us some of the ways towards buying those feed lines. Plus, even if we do want to take Karsten jobs, a bit of money could get ourselves prepared would be a bad idea. Prep on fuel and supplies, be ready for it comes. Do we have time? Probably not, but without cryo for fuel and supplies, we aren't going anywhere. Just take a look at the contract board, see what you think. While you're at it, you might want to see if you can scare up some freelance crew too. Many hands make light work and all that. Or we stop messing around. We take Karsten's jobs right now and we get it done before we can think twice. Seems like a whole set of bad options to me. Either way, we still got work to do on the drive. Surfin nods a farewell and heading back to the engine room. Let me know what you decide. Why am I the one making choices? For a moment you pause, letting the haze of the plans and ideas settle in your mind. Suddenly you curl up in pain shooting along your spine. You grit your teeth, your muscles lock tight. Your vision narrows as you squeeze your eyes shut. You feel a shift. As if some connection has broken. It's almost impossible to describe. Like you're floating away from your body, dispersing, dissolving. There's nothing familiar in the pain, nothing to hold on to. You grit your teeth. And then another shift comes and you are back in your body, trembling against the metal wall of the passage. The pain slowly fades, becoming a pulsing throb and then a residual flicker. You flex in 0G, stretching out the tension. There's a strange sensation of distance that persists beyond the pain. A disconnection between your body and yourself, a flickering numbness that refuses to cede. You wonder if the reboot has done something to your body, or if this is some new sensation you will have to live with indefinitely. It strikes you that you know so little about the body that houses you. It could be moments away from collapse, or it might persevere for countless cycles like this. You try to shake off the feeling, pushing your hands against each other until they feel like they're yours again. Time is the only thing you need, and right now it feels like it's running out fast. You have work to do. You have a contract. Open the map screen to view it. Contracts are high-risk, high-reward jobs that you and your crew can take on. Contracts require preparations and care for succeed. You'll need to have enough fuel to travel there. Get as many supplies as you can afford to keep you and your crew going. Look for opportunities to recruit crew, temporarily or permanently, to help you on the contract. Consider which crew to take carefully. They have different skills and stress resistance, and who you choose that can affect the story. We need 3 fuel. Contract. Storage. How do I hire crew? Let's see, Karsten supply. I can buy things or deliver the data core. Swift scrap soul. Ooh, I can have shifts. I can sell scrap. I could take on a shift here. Data diffusal shift. Contract board. The Conway signal. Oh, there's another one. Buy the signal contract. This open contract with the Hexport Administration requires a fee to be paid to receive the goods of the job. I'll take it. It's risky. New contract on the map. This one only needs 2 fuel. And how much do I need to pay to get 2 fuel? Oh, I can do it right now. 2 fuel. Let's spend the rest of the shift working. I can go to the scrapyard. $12 cryo here. And if I go over to the warehouse and do freight loading, never mind. If I go over here and do some gambling, what do I get? 9 cryo. Okay, it's more monies if I just go and gamble if I work. Here's some supplies. Also, I'm gonna have to eat. 13 cryo to eat. We should take a day to prepare up. Store supplies, please. No, all jobs might be good cryo. We'll see. Anyway, I gotta eat before we leave. And I want to recruit more crew. But I don't know how. Oh! We got like 3 cryo. That's not great. Not great monies. Okay, that's enough to eat. Eat at the canteen. Nice, we're full on energy now. And let me just get one more supply. Okay. And then we'll leave. Well, I'm gonna use all my dices before we leave. Just in case. The new contracts over here? No, it's the same. Trade hall, canteen, the supply shop, the scrap place. I can try data diffusal. 10 cryo. It pays more to be an engineer, huh? Alright. And I'll go over here. Okay, and now we can go. But I want to get crew first. How can I get crew? Contracts, stowage, can go to the belt, cargo, machinist. Can I go to the rig for that? Engine, need to put in the fuel line. The galley, no. Bunks, no. Alright, well, whatever. Let's go to the small contract, see what it's like. Confirm vector. Oh, I get to select it. Travel to contract. Surfing is locked. Nia can come with us. She has a low stress resistance. Alright. Let's see what happens. Oh, we made it. And I got my dices back. It's a drone. Serpent spots the signal source first. The light barely shimmering off in the dark. Blech. The light barely shimmering off its darker hull plating, a design trait that betrays its covert use. A flash catches your attention and you see a rent in the hull through which You see a rent in the hull through which red light pulses. Wounded, Serpent shakes his head. Wish they finished the job. I can now press the push button. +1 stress, +2 to the lowest dice. A flash catches your attention and you see a rent in the hull. Wounded, wish you did finish the job. You've seen one before? Surfin looks back on the shoulder towards you. We've seen one before, don't you? Sorry, I know it isn't your fault. Here's the drone. Lane has taught us had us work on one in the dark side bay. But it was barely a shell, disarmed and deactivated. He had us searching through its gut for salvage. Even that one gave me the creeps, and it had its core ripped out. This one still live. Conway, Nia hisses her teeth. Corporate scum! You glance over at her and you see the fire in her bright eyes. They don't even dare to come here and force us out themselves. It's all proxies and drones. Typical core-bred cowards. You run into them before? You might say that. She looks at the drone. You won't see me taking my eyes off that thing for a second. Stefan carefully guides the ship closer. You watch the drone. The system is full of these things now, running missions for the operators. Rare to see one out in the belt, though. Maybe they got hit during a run-in with Senate Sat mercs. It looks like it's drifting. Most of the system's blown out, but look there. He jabs a finger towards a red light on the far side of the drone. It's still broadcasting, maybe even receiving. Can it attack us? Unlikely. Would have blasted us already if it could. Comforting. Stefan brings your eyes closer. What I remember from the dark side job is that the central core and the broadcast array need to be shut off to kill these things. Core will turn off local systems, and the broadcast array will serve the link to the Conway operator. But you can bet those systems are protected. Your attention is suddenly drawn by a shudder from the drone, like a tremor running along its length. This thing is rigged to blow, Sleeper. We go slow and careful, and we don't touch anything we don't know about. He goes back to Nia. You hear that? I got you. She looks sincere. Surfin brings the rig to a stop, close enough for you to cross through the open space to reach the drone's hull. Let's suit up. You head out to the airlock to prepare. As you get suited up, you think of the corporate war taking place in the inner system. The war this drone was driven from. The inner system is okay, yeah, well, whatever. Out there on the shore of the conflict, the biggest danger is that this flotsam and jetsam drifting with the tides in orbit where the system wants. Blah blah blah. Is that this flotsam and jetsam drifting in with the tides and orbits of the systems might one cycle bring the war with it. But now the belt is outside of its reach. We're looking out at the red pulsing drone that doesn't give you much comfort. Welcome to your first contract. While on a contract, you will be able to assign 2 dices for each crew member as you would assign your own dice. Pay attention to the crew skills to use them effectively. You'll be able to assign 2 dices for each crew member. On certain outcomes, crew will take crew stress. When the stress is full, you'll not be able to use them to perform actions. While on a contract, your energy bar will automatically be supplied for each cycle you have available supplies. When your supplies are depleted, both you and your crew will take 1 stress per cycle. Contracts also have their own contract stress. When the bar is filled, the contract will fail. So we have 4 stress available. We have to avoid it blowing up. Let's see, we have to find the broadcast access. Oh, and they all have their unique skills, huh? I see. It might be possible to save through the gap in the drones, okay? I can do a bit of engineering over here. Okay, so I can do even engineering here. We gotta get the control access. Up. Okay. Okay, next my crew. Where can I use Seraphin's dice is the best? This place is trash for Seraphin. This one, the crate opening one, is alright. Bleh. Well, that's bad. Alright, Nia. Go for the route. Got some stress. Okay. I'll use 1 too. Now if I push, I'm gonna get a bit of stress myself. While on a contract, you can use your push ability once per cycle to give you an edge in a tricky situation. Pushing accrues 1 stress, but will give you a key advantage. You can see your current push configuration. Your push can be upgraded. Okay. I can push, get a tree. Control system. Oh, did I get access? What the heck? The drone's damage provides a lucky access point to the broadcast, which will have to be disabled. But we already have the route to the broadcast system. And you have 3 cycles to get through. Hack the broadcast. Disconnect the backup. Drone deaf. Disable the core, shut down the broadcast array. Once both are down, the Conway drone won't be able to do anything. Push. You gain some stress. As your stress increases, you will have a higher chance of taking damage to your action dice each time you roll them. That doesn't sound good. I got more stress. Yay. Okay, that's good. Anywhere I can still use Seraphit's dices? No. There's one here. Create opening could be one. 50-50. Bad 50. Okay. Let's take a nap. Took a damage. You've taken damage. You can take the damage to a stress. Bleh. You've taken damage to a dice because of stress. When your dice are rolled at the start of the cycle, your stress dictates if it takes damage or not. Higher stress means higher chance of taking damage. The white markers above the stress bar tells you which numbers will damage your dice when rolled. I see. So 1 and 2. Each dice has 3 dice health. When it breaks, when this is depleted, the dice will break and it must be repaired to be used normally. The marker above the stress, so the when at the top, you can reduce stress at the rig bug, whatever. Oh, we gotta go again. I see. Let's go back. Let's try and disable these accesses. Still not available. Don't we have a place where I can use my bonuses? Not really. Actually, yes. Over here. Okay. Weird how these things were shown for a bit. Okay, Seraphin, go ahead. Alright. Still no access. Nia can help us out. Hopefully. Good. A bit more. Just a bit more. A bit more stress. Okay. Still don't have access. Done. You hear the beeping immediately. Among the chambers and cabling of the throne's interior, something has started to counting down. Guys, Nia's voice comes hissing through the suit's comms channel. Does anyone else hear that? Because I'm getting nervous. Shit, Seraphin's voice joins her. This is what I was worried about. We screwed? I can't be sure. You know, this thing's about to send out a distress call. It's about to blow. We got to shut down the system down fast. Then we move on to the other side because I bet you there's a surprise waiting for us there too. We good? Am I heading back to the ship or what? We're good. We'll keep going. Take a moment to the silence. Alright, time to deal with this fast. The broadcast system. Only I can do anything about this. Hack into it. There. Push. I gotta do it. Because now's the time. Bleh. Okay, that didn't go well. 1 dice left. Can't do anything with it. Stress is pretty bad. I'm definitely gonna take some dice damages. Bleh. Okay, now we gotta disable this right now. Only I can do it. Dang it. Come on. Positive outcome, please. Oh, that worked out. Now here. Once again, only I can do anything about this. Okay, cool, cool. Oh, nice. And now we gotta finish this thing. Let's dump all of Nia's dice in there. Boom! Are we done? The thrumming, pulsing interior of the drone goes still for the first time since you boarded it. You look across Seraphine and Nia and share a smile. You all exhale so loudly it can be heard over the suit's shared comm channel. The drone is dead. One less piece of Conway shit to worry about. We killed it. Don't get too excited. It was looking pretty rough when we got here. You make your way back into the hull, the drone now faintly rolling in one direction, its stabilizers offline. Nia catches up to you as you glide towards the rig. We're a pretty good crew, Sleeper. We do. You reach the rig's airlock and take one last look at the drone's dark hole. It catches the lights as it rolls into the vacuum. At some point in the near future, this drone will likely be smashed to pieces by one of the many asteroids of the belt, spreading across the place as twinkling dust. The thought pleases you, as does the thought of all that Cryo Export now owes you. Time to go collect. You can leave the contract with it via the map. Get me out of here. -5 stress during travel. Yes, please. As you're docking at export, Seraphine lets go of the controls and leans back in his chair. Nia leans over to you. Thank you, Sleeper. I know you took a chance on me. Well, you helped out. Feels good to make a contract work, no matter how we pull it off. It's hard not to argue. It feels better when the export courier comes with a log box full of chits. Lane may still be hunting you, but this should help the effort to sip his net. Suddenly you hear a familiar voice. Nia! Femi glides into view. What are you playing at, Sleeper? Stay silent. Don't come throwing your weight around, Femi. I can make my own decisions. Sleeper took me in at my word, and I'm grateful. Femi is fuming. Did they now? Well, if you're working for Sleeper, I hope they paid you well. Well, I asked, so... And I'm not paying my people. Oh, so they aren't paying you? Stefan crosses his arms. Let's keep this civil. Yours is the first time he is meeting Femi. If you're being civil, seems like Nia is own her share. Yeah, sure. You go around a quarter of the chits from the block box and hold them out to Nia. She takes them sheepishly. Alright then, we're good here. He turns to leave. Nia mouths sorry and follows Femi across the docks. Stefan watches them go. You sure know how to pick them, Sleeper. He turns away and heads back along the docking bridge. I just hope we aren't going to be to end up a stack of cryo shorts when we need when we need to get out there. Seems fine. And now we have one upgrade point. Give me the +1. How many? I have 0 points left. Okay. I feel like having a +2. If my lowest dice is like a 2, and I use this this one, it's gonna give it a +3. I'm gonna give it a +4. +4 to a 1 is gonna make it a 5, and to a 2 is gonna make it a 6, a guaranteed critical success, which means I'm gonna lose the stress I just spent. That's pretty good. Also want to get the Endure debuff out of here. Are these all 4 points? Yeah, these are all 4 points to upgrade. Okay. Anyway, we now have a bit of money. Can we get more contracts? No. In that case, it's time to... we're going to spin our dices, and then it's time to go out for the other contract. Up. Let's go. I gotta refuel and resupply before we go out. Alright. I can work a bit here too. Damn it, I didn't mean to do that. That was not great. Ooh, -1 energy, huh? That'll be fine. My energy will be refilled by the contract. Okay. Having 4 supplies seems like it's enough. And we need 3 fuel. I should just fully refuel. There we go. We could definitely just work our way. I could definitely make the money if I didn't want to take the contract. Anyway, time to go. Carson is offering you straight barter for the feed. You just gotta get him the thingy-majig. Any scrap you pull out is yours. And now we get our crew. It looks like we only have 2 crew members per shift. And Seraphin doesn't have any great skills, so I feel like I should leave him out of here. I prefer skills bonuses than skill neutral stuff. The Solheim derelict fills the cockpit window, all twisted plates and skeletal strutwards. You watch it in horror and fascination as Seraphin completes the approach, both of you silent in presence of the decaying beast. Now, as you settle beside it, Seraphin is the first to break the silence. This thing is already dead. He shakes his head. It's a corpse sleeper. He nudges the ship closer, looking for a place to dock. I touch this thing too hard, it'll crumble into dust. Let's not do that. Seraphin does a little mock salute. Aye aye. Any other tips? Take us up there. That's the bridge. Junie points towards one end of the ship, and both of you and Seraphin turn around, having forgotten she has... Blah. Both of you and Seraphin turn around, having forgotten she was even in the cockpit. She hasn't said that word since you departed. She glances at both of you with amused faces. What? Sorry, that's where we need to go. Seraphin nods towards Junie. She's not wrong. The bridge will be a good start. Assess the wreck first. Junie settles silently back into her seat. She looks away out of the cockpit, and you're unsure if she's upset or just embarrassed. Carefully, Seraphin brings the ship close to the derelict and glides over the hull. The rig's lights ripple across the broken surfaces, finding gaps and cracks everywhere. It seems remarkable that the derelict still held together. Shit, Seraphin hisses as a huge spinning piece of debris drifts in front of the cockpit. He pushes the ring down beneath it, squeezing beneath the debris in the hull. As he does so, an ear-screeching screech signals the rig scraping across the derelict's skin. You freeze for a moment, waiting for the breach sirens to sound, but the moment passes and you relax. You glance at Seraphin. His face betrays no emotion. This isn't safe. I'm going to find something better to settle the ship, then we can need to suit up and work our way along the hull on foot. You look back at Junie and you see her still in her seat, eyes wide. You okay? She looks at you, then there's a sudden unfamiliar hardness in her eyes that surprises you. Then a moment later, it's gone and her gaze softens. I'm okay, don't worry. Seraphin brings the ship away from the derelict's hull an inch at a time, then slowly brings it round to settle close to a mostly intact hull plate. This section's fairly free of debris. We should be good to hold here. Seraphin unclips from his seat and you and Junie follow suit. As you all glide down towards the airlock, Junie silently follows. You can't help but feel judged. As you reach the airlock, Seraphin begins to suit up. If we're lucky, that little collision hasn't started a cascade that will end with this place coming apart under our feet. Seraphin valiantly kicks his legs into a set of EVA trousers, clearly irritated by his own carelessness. Stay silent. This is a delicate job, Junie says quietly, almost to herself. The data core will be fragile. Very fragile. Understood. She nods appreciatively. The rest of the preparation process takes place in intense silence, each of you considering the delicate job. I like the contract system. You suit up too. Though you don't need an element to breathe, you slide one in, unlock the seal for protection. This wreck isn't going to give up its salvage easily. The core shall be near the bridge, maybe even inside it, but there's a lot of wreck here, and there might be a good salvage tucked away in the cargo hold. Once the suits are on and the seals are checked, you cycle the lock and stare out at the vast expanse of the twisted hulk. Time to go to work. We have 2 sections, the airlock and the bay. Oh, and this we already have a bit of stress on this derelict. About to have some kind of event happen. Yeah, I can work this section. She has a 6, Junie. But nowhere I can spend it on. Dang it. Seraphin, force the lock, please. Oops. New crisis location active. The crisis will add 1 contract stress per cycle until resolved at the crisis location. A hull breach. Gotta solve that one. Alright. Oh god, that's gonna take forever. One crisis plus one per cycle. And we won't have much time until the next one. But all my dice aren't really great for this. Oh well. Let's try and enter the bridge. Hopefully we can use our dice over there. I mean in there. I can upgrade a 2. And then I can lose the stress I just spent. Nice. And a bit more. Dang it. Come on. Come on! Ah. I gotta spend these dices now. But there's nowhere for a good spend. That helped. Okay, well, whatever. Let's end the cycle. Okay, let's see if we can fix the hull breach. Seraphim might be able to. Okay, come on. Almost there. Damn it. Almost there, come on. We can fix it next cycle. I'll just come over here. I can spend this 4. It'll be fine. The bridge of the derelict lies silent. Pale beams of your suit lamps catches rows and terminals in clouds of glittering dust. Wires wave like seaweed, and the whole scene appears as if underwater, chaotic but still. Junie glides past you, disturbing the dust and taking you up by surprise as she does. She has been a stoic presence so far, but at this moment she seems drawn forward by some force of curiosity. You watch as she bats away debris and begin checking the terminal. Let her work. Charlie prying access panels off one of the more intact-looking terminals, and as she does, puffs of rust and colors the vacuum around her. Approach her. She turns back the terminal and finishes plying off the plate. Then quickly she reaches inside, fishing around for something. Her hands comes back with a waving cable topped with a thick connector. As soon as she sees it, she sips a keyboard-sized deck out from somewhere on her person. She runs her hand across the back until she finds the right port and starts the connector. All this happens in a few seconds. The routine, practice, and precise. It's hard not to be impressed. Let her work. Junie's fingers dance across the deck's keyboards, and a burst of static lights up the Solheim terminal. A sudden burst of light and color takes you by surprise. Junie's fingers tap away, the terminal screen flashing with blocks of colors and lines of codes. It buzzes and vibrates, its long-dead systems forced back into chaotic life. Then all at once it goes dark. The terminal is dead. Shit, useless. You cannot tell if the insult is directed at the terminal or herself. On anything? No, nothing really useful. The cradle with the data core can't be far. I'll start looking. Everything alright? What do you think of Junie? The kid? You'd know better than me. Keeps to herself. Seraphim stretches in his suit. I have to admit, it's nice to be back working, especially now that we are the ones who will reap the benefits. Feels good to be taking our fate into our own hands. I know it's pretty rough there, back on export. Now there, we're just as likely to get shredded by debris as to find the data core. But aren't you glad we made a break for it? I mean, I am. I just don't want to speak. I just don't want to speak for you. We'll see. That's true. This thing is gonna catch up to us one day. Look, if we've got a bit of space behind us, once we go the distance, if we even manage to get that far, don't feel you owe me. I'm no charity case. You want us to go our separate ways? Fine by me. Just do me the favor of telling me to my face. I will. After a moment, he shines his torch out in the dark, checking the rows of terminals all across the bridge. You catch the glittering dust as it eddies in the beam. Seraphim sighs. Let's get to it. As you watch as he corners the bridge, his torch probing the dark corners, you feel a chill run down your body as if you imagine the people that once ran the ship. The Solheim crew, surely long dead. What was it like before the collapse, when the system was the jewel in Solheim's crown? It's impossible to know. New location discovered. Now we can spend Junie's dices, finally. Up. Dang it. Junie, why? I'm gonna come over here and spend my 4. Come on, seal it. Come on, seal it. Ugh. Hey, it's sealed. Nice. And now we have 2 dices that are really good. I could spend it, but that's gonna create a new crisis if I do, and if it fails. I could push it. Spend and push. Nice. That paid off. But we didn't lose our stress. Hopefully we don't break a dice. That'll be bad. Ooh, it's getting close. It's getting close. Alright. Let's go to the cargo hold. Seraphim, please. Nah. I'll do it. Find an access point. Come on, positive. There. Seraphim, go. Do it. Yay, we did it. Cargo storage. I can scrap some stuff. Junie, help. That's gonna be my pay. This end of the derrick is partially intact. You can survey it. Perhaps you can find some valuable scrap. Please do. Okay. Nice. And now we can go and get some scrap. Real deep in there. Extract raw scrap. Deep inside, there's a massive intact scrap. This valuable materials, but it's also all that what's holding the ship together. So I can spend the rest of the shift. All the stress I don't have accumulated, I can spend here. Alright. Time to work. Junie. Why? That's free money leaking out. Come on. Okay. Let me just spend Serpent's dice in a good place. Like there. Yay. It's helping. What if I spend my ones here? What happens? It's pretty good. Not too bad. Ouch, stress. That's pretty bad. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna start losing dices from now on. Ugh. Lost one. One of the dice is broken. Broken dice can be repaired at the rig for a cost once the workshop is available. Well, I don't have a workshop available, so that's not gonna happen. Alright. Let's finish this hack protocol thingy. Come on. Also, we only have one more supply left. Done. Protocol cracked. Now we can go back here. Good job, Seraphim. That's a good dice. Alright. That's also a good dice. Yay. That's also a good dice. Come on. So close. Come on. Oh, come on. One more. 50-50. Yay. Data core located. There it is. And now we get to work. We have to avoid data core damage. Isolate it. Extract it. I should have filled up on supplies all the way. Then we'd have an extra cycle to work with without extra stress. You've used all your energy and are now starving, supplies empty. You get stress per cycle now. Alright. Time to get to work. That's pretty good. That's pretty good too. Keep it up. I can push the 2 to a 5, so I can get a critical success. Nice. You watch Nervous as Judy glides to the core out of the cradle. A large ball, almost half of your height in diameter, glides out from the framework that held it. Connections waving loose and cut. Her breathing comes through the suit's comms, loud enough to be picked up, and it fills you with tense energy as you watch. Over the course of the job, you have seen Junie both focused and distracted, nervous and precise. You've not seen her any more confident than in this moment. She floats beside the data core, handling it with care and skill, as if it was the vast egg of some endangered bird. She glances up and sees you watching her, and you noticed something unfamiliar in her. Something that you have perhaps seen in a passing moment before, but only now is it no momentary lapse or change. It's set in place. You see determination. She guides the core a little ways from you with one hand, but at the same time comes forward, almost placing herself between you and your prize. As that it does, and it does seem to her in the way and it does seem to be hers in the way she handles it, the possessive way she screens it with her body. We need to talk. The statement comes flat and deadpan. Right now. What is it? Sleeper, I want you to be honest with you, but I need to know you won't take this from me. Junie glances around the cradle defensively, but Seraphin is already heading back to the ship. Tell me and we'll see. Fine, but it's staying with me. Carson doesn't deserve this treasure, Sleeper. Do you know how many of these are left intact? And all he wants to do is wipe it clean so he can use it to interface with export. All the data gone. The contract to the contract. Really? That's the best you can offer? I want to extract the data, to make use of it. I could have taken the data already, Sleeper. Stripped it and told you it was running diagnostics. Okay, so can we get the data and sell it to Karsten? After extraction of the data, the core will be unusable. Bleh. There's a security system that will fry its data duplication There's a security system that will fry it if data duplication is attempted. I can delay the security response long enough to copy the data, but after that... You've done this before. That's why I came. Look at this place, Sleeper. How many of these places are left? How many chances do we have to recover anything from this old, this fragile? Like it or not, we live in Solheim's shadow, in their ruins, and yet we know almost nothing. What chance do we have of understanding how we got here, when others like them, like Sinetstat and Conway, are descending on this system? What can we learn? I don't know, Sleeper. That's the point. We could learn our history and know the system was settled. We could be better. We could better learn the technology we build our lives on. We could uncover Solheim's crimes and seek to make them amends. We could see beyond survival towards something else. You've never heard Junie speak like this, and you realize that what you have actually you realize that what you have taken for nervousness was actually control. The person in front of you is defending a decaying data core with her life. It's the real Junie. When you think of Lane and of the price he likely put on you and Seraphin's head, and of the feed lines, without which leaving exports would be almost impossible, is this even a choice? Explain about the feed lines. Junie listens carefully as you tell her about the deal with Carson, the feed lines he offered you, and that both of you and Seraphin are on the run. That'll help you. We find another way to get those feed lines. Then I'll help you. Carson's an idiot. I can hack his security and I can pull them out of there. Or Seraphin looks tough. Maybe he can grab them? We can do it. We can do something. Don't you work for him? Look, I knew you wouldn't take me if... I might have misled you here. I knew he knew where the derelict was, and I heard your conversation. I know I lied, but I can help you. Let me steal the data from the core, and I'll promise I'll help you get the feed lines. Deal, I guess. Because I can't really do anything else. Thank you. This is a gift for all of us, Sleeper. I hope you'll see it. I hope you will see it like that. Junie turns on the data core, quickly gathering one of its loose connections. She takes out her deck and plunges it, then crosses her legs and places it across them, floating tethered beside the core. Her fingers begin tapping at the keyboard, teasing out the core's data and whatever Solheim's secret might contain. As she does, Seraphin enters. What is she doing? Emptying the data. She's doing what? I hope you know what you're doing, Sleeper. Junie will help us, if you say so. A little while later, once the core has been emptied out and its defense mechanism has scorched its seams black, you watch the metallic sphere spinning gently in the room and wonder if you just made a terrible mistake. Contract failed. Well, time for some scrap. Seraphin, you got it. 50-50. Neutral outcome. Just one raw scrap. Positive outcome. Okay, we can stay one more cycle. What if I was to leave? How much stress do we lose? Um, -5 stress. Okay, so we can stay one more cycle. And hopefully not lose all of my dices. Because I'm gonna need those. Okay, good. Last cycle. I guess we can just get one more bit of raw scrap. And there it goes. There's a horrifying lurch. You are sent spinning it through the bay you were crossing in the hail of debris. You watch as the sides of the bay silently tears open in front of you, a gaping black maw toothed with flying debris. You stare into it, your breath heavy with your eyes, your breath heavy in your ears, your eyes wide. You feel a tug on your back of your head, you feel a tug on your back. You're tethered. As you spin back from the sudden arrest of your glide, you see Seraphim holding the other end. You have to go, sleeper. This place is done. You both make your way through the splitting derelict in silence, charting a path through what were once passages but are now twisted tubes, like the intestinal tract of some dead creature. Eventually, you make it out to the surface and find the rig still tethered, but gashed with debris and scars. We're going to pay for this. Let's hope she still flies. You tether together and push off the hull. Stefan guides you to the debris. Below you, the derelict is exploding in slow motion, tearing apart into a swarm of razor-edged shards. I sure as hell hope Junie is going to come true for us, Sleeper. Because if you gave her that core for nothing, then this contract was the biggest waste of time I've ever seen. It's gone. Junie's voice comes through faintly on the comms. Thankfully we got the core. What a waste. You arrive at the rig's airlock and bundle yourself inside, noticing the exterior damage. It looks mostly superficial. We'll take the toll on the ship. Once you're back in the cockpit, you look into the derelict shattered form. It seems you'll be the last visitors. Alright. Time to go. Map. Go back, please. Lose all the stress. As you arrive to Hexport, Junie speaks up from the back of the cockpit. We are going to have to act fast if you want to take those feed lines. We? Only one of us fried the core and stole all the data, and for some reason we let you. What I'm wondering, Sleeper, is why we have to. I don't think Carson is going to take kindly to the idea that we brought someone pretending to work for him on the job and let her have this prize. Do you even know what she's up to? Junie looks between the two of you. Hexport hasn't exactly been kind to me. You two trusted me even though I didn't deserve it. I'm not used to that. I want to repay it. Not to mention that Carson is probably ripping you off. Even if you get enough cryo, what's to say you won't raise the price? Trust me, it's no good. I was trying to deal with Karsten to get those direct coordinates for the moment I arrived here, and he ran me in circles. Even if I do take you at your word, which given how everything seems a little tough, how do we even do this? You tell me that we just drift in here and take the feed lines? Look, I get it. What if I have a vested interest in this working out? There's nothing left for me here, and I don't much feel like hanging around waiting for Karsten to figure out my involvement in all this. I need safe passage. You need the feed lines to grant it. See where I'm going with this? I don't like it. But it makes sense. What do you think, Sleeper? I'm not sure. Fair. Look, let me prepare. I'll head to Factory Row, scope the place out. Meet me there and we can work a plan. Trust me, we'll find a way. We'll keep it simple, clean. Alright then. I'll go scope out the bay we need in Factory Row. We should split up. Less likely for Carson to suspect us. Meet me there in a few and we can finish setting up. I want to show you I can be trusted. That we can do this. Believe that, please. Lucas Seraphim. I'm saying nothing, Sleeper. Either this is the kind of mess you have to go through to get out of the other side, or it's the kind you never escape. Either way, we're in it now. You wonder if anything ever runs smoothly. I do really need some supplies and repairs, though. Jeez, that's inexpensive. Let me see if I can make Seraphim get some supplies while we wait. Because that's an expensive one. Also, I gotta eat. Up. Alright. No longer starving. Give me a second, I gotta blow my nose. Oh, I can't push while I'm on the... while I'm inside of a hub, huh? Hack security. Once more. I can use this one over at the warehouse. No, not the warehouse. Is it the warehouse? It's the warehouse. Also, I'll sell one bit of raw scrap. See what I get from it. Where do I sell that? Are there new contracts? Probably not. Yeah, probably not. Scrap place. We can sell raw scrap. How much? 16 cryo. It's not that valuable. But it should keep me going. Anyway, we need a workshop if I want to be able to repair myself. We haven't unlocked that yet, so I can't. Yay. Okay. Let's keep engaging with this. Keep it up. It's not over yet. Boom. The sound of a fist on keyboard wakes you from the scrolling codes on the terminal screen. You turn to see Junie, a rare half-smile on her face as she floats from cross-legged with her deck in her lap. The blue light on the snap-on screen makes her eyes glint with a glittering excitement. Got him. She shoots you a look. Karsten's whole system is mine. You push away from your terminal to glide over to their screen. Running the mapping protocol, I want to know about every little dusty corner of the network. Nice work. We aren't there yet. It's coming up now. Seems Karsten is pretty paranoid. His whole system is iced over with some serious security. What are all these layers of? A red pulse flashes. Something is closing the port. We've been kicked out. There's nowhere a salvage or shop should have these kinds of countermeasures. That's it? We're done? I think our friend Karsten is involved in some nasty stuff. Wait. Her fingers fly across the keyboard. The mapping protocol did enough. All the security systems are there. We didn't get what's here, but it seems like we found some kind of archive. Nothing we want. I wonder what's there. Some big data trawls, it looks like. Copies of old drives that he found. Could just be a lot of data left over from salvage jobs. Think he's worth something. He's a meathead with no eye for data, so it's probably a load of debug logs he thinks are Solheim secrets. Time to train my cat. Your cat? What is that? You watch the code spill across the screen and notice the addresses from the node map being marked in log. It appears to be some kind of exploratory program. A ripper worm, perhaps? But why would Junie want the data from Karsten's network? I can see you following along, but trust me, you haven't seen one of these before. It's Katzenjammer. Cat for short. Basically, it takes a network map, finds the weaknesses, and when you hook it up, it blasts the network. With so much network nodes and raw data that it becomes unusable, any tech connected gets a killer headache. I built it to take the remnants of the Solheim security systems out of commission on old relics. I had one too many close calls. What are we gonna do to the shop? Pretty much try anything on our map. Camera, shutter controls, alarms. It'll be chaos. She plugs the thumbnail drive out of the deck and just hands it over. The cat head sticker on it catching the light as you turn it in your fingers. We still lost access, of course. But there's an old Solheim port from the original facility just outside Karsten. Slot the cat in there and you should be able to find the back door. What are we waiting for? Nothing, but this is going to be quiet. His whole system is going to get data blasted. It's not a subtle grab. It's not a subtle hack. When you start the cat, you get in, grab the feed line, and run. Sounds like one hell of a risk. Seraphin's voice catches you both by surprise. Well, it's our best option. And where will you go? Where will you be while we run the gauntlet of scramble security and make the grab? I can monitor how it goes down remotely from here or the ship. He's finding it hard to trust Junie after everything. Alright, I don't have much of a choice. I'll find somewhere else to work from. Close the ship, but out of your way. When you're ready, start the cat and go. By the time you are back on the ship, I'll be there. Don't leave without me. The whole export is going to hear about this. We better be ready to go the moment you start that thing. That's what we have to do. I'll be at the ship preparing the engine. We need to be ready to fit the lines as fast as we possibly can. Be careful, don't stop for anyone or anything. And don't even think about looking back. With that, he slips out of the unit, leaving you alone to consider what comes next. We're gonna spend that dice I got. Somewhere. Somehow. some way. Over there. Bleh. That was a bad call. Yay. Well, tomorrow's the last cycle we got. Thankfully, Seraphim can scrounge up some more supplies. Or not. No, he failed. Nice. Okay, well, I'm gonna eat. Get 2 more supplies. Just in case. Up. Up. And it's time to go. Cloud Catchin's hammer. Junie's cat will overwhelm Carson's security, but you don't know how long for. You better be ready to grab the feed lines and run the moment you slot it. Carson Place is locked up for the cycle, shutters down, alarms on. The denizens of Factory Row snaking past with deliveries and work orders. You hold your position opposite of the shop and take a deep breath, waiting for a sign that this is going to work. You look at the thumbnail drive with its shimmering cat sticker sticking out of the old Solheim access port. You imagine the flow of data as the Catson jammer seeks for an entry point into the Carson system. You know, I feel like I'm starting to regret this decision, because failing a contract is gonna be bad for our reputation as salvagers. You think of Junie, and also Junie hasn't done anything with the data so far. You think of Junie, tucked away near the ship, watching you through the public networks. You think of Seraphim, deep in the engine room of the rig. Hurry the hell up, you think, enough waiting. Then you hear it, a pulsating white noise spluttering and then screaming out of Karsten's shop. The shutter scissors up and down, the light pulses, the alarm gurgles in confusion. For a moment you are stunned into stillness. People run in the streets, then look around, then turn to look as the shutter's motors burn out in a cascade of sparkling and acrid smoke. Now or never. Well, time to try. Hey, neutral. You skirt around the people watching, using them as a perimeter. They are pointing and talking, some of them laughing, while others look concerned. You confidently push past them and glide inside, without looking back. It takes you a moment to gather yourself in the chaos of the shop. The wall-mounted screen screams out white noise, and the flickering lights makes it harder to concentrate, but you need to focus. You scramble over the feed lines in the window, grabbing the bundles with both arms. They wave wildly at you in your grasp as you wrench them away and kicks off the counter, gliding back out into the passage. Your arcing glide takes you into the crowd. You steer yourself through a gap in the gathering bodies and kick off hard towards the port. The feed lines wave wildly, but you grip them hard to your chest, and you don't look back. Seraphim better be ready. Your arms ache from clutching the feed lines, but you don't loosen your grip until you see the entrance to the docking bridge. Sleeper, you almost ignore the call until you realize you recognize the voice. Junie glides out to meet you. I'm with you now. What a show. You could have warned me. I did. At least I thought I did. You both glide down the docking bridge, Junie helping you with the trailing feed lines. From what you can tell, the news of the chaos in Factory Row has not reached the port yet. You feel a flush of excitement as you enter the ship's airlock. This is it. You did it. You try to keep focused, but the elation makes your hands trembles. You take a sharp turn in the central passage of the ship and make your way to the engine room, the feed lines now unwieldy in the cramped space. Stefan is waiting for you, shaking his head. Looks like we're in business. He gets out of sight. They're on the run from 2 different people now. He grabs the feed lines. I'll take it from there. What? Does Carson know it was us? Oh, I guess it's because of the entire deal with the fuel lines. He quickly begins the process of connecting the engine to the subsidiary fuel tank. You watch, catching your breath as he works. I don't feel really good about stealing all that stuff when we could have just did a good job. How about you make yourself useful rather than just making me nervous? Go close to the airlock and disconnect the bridge. Both of you, now. Also, I really didn't have a chance to get Junie's core out. The 2 of you turn and make your way up to the passage, your nerves settling now. You arrive at the airlock and reach for the control panel, then you see him. Carson coming up the docking bridge fast. Close the airlock. You're shaking hands and put the closure sequence just in time. The door hisses and slams shut in Carson's face. He looks at you to the airlock window, but as he does, the docking bridge shutters scissors close, blocking him from view. You hear a clunk as the clamp disengage. You are free. Seraphim rushes past, gliding up the passageways from the engine room. Come on, get yourselves strapped in. You and Junie silently follow him, your head spinning, your thoughts racing. You slip into your seat as Seraphim punctures the departure sequence. The rig begins to pull away from the hexport. Seraphim hands on the control. You close your eyes and feel the force of the thrusters firing. Dry failed and completed. What the? Seraphin, quiet question interrupts your thoughts as the rig cuts across the belt. Export is now behind you, drifting out of visual range. Its glinting lights now just past the background below. The background glow of the belt's thousands of reflective bodies. Whatever troubles you stirred up, there's already been left behind. Which is why Seraphin's muttering is worrying you. What's up? There's a transmission coming out of export. Some kind of evac order? Let me check this. Sleeper, the voice as distorted as it is, cuts through. Lane. I know you are there. I'm getting a wide channel broadcast. They are warning people to alter their course away from the station. They're slipping away, but we can't have that. I take this personally, Sleeper. After all my investment, all my care expended upon you, this is how you repay me. At least we're heading away. Maybe it's just precaution. I see a little something glinting out there. Could that be you? Sleeper, you hear Seraphin calling, but you don't move, you don't breathe. All you hear is Lane's voice. Only we are hearing that message. You uncape from your strength drifting towards Seraphin. He gives you a wild look. Something isn't right. You don't feel right. A numbness grows in your body, your fingers flexing without your input. Something reaches out to Seraphin through you. Attention flickers in his eyes. Fears? Hissing sighs and a rumbling blast. All at once the rig screams, system seizing and electromagnetic paralysis. All at once the rig shifts, carried on some shockwave of light. Pain and darkness. We've got some glitch points. Voices echo warmly through your mind. You can't quite make out what is being said, and any attempt to focus causes a growing flare of pain. So you let them fill the air, unidentifiable and soft. You're floating, and so you cannot just You're floating, and so you cannot yet feel your body or its weight. The feeling is pleasant, soothing, and yet the moment you realize this, it begins to fade. Something spasms in your fingers, and you flick it away. A sensation crosses the sole of your foot, and you kick your leg. A weight settles in your chest. You're awake. You open your eyes to the light playing across the surface pattern with stained cushioning. You're alone. The voice is replaced by the hum of air cycling, the distant clank of maintenance systems. You're alone and this is not your ship. You jerk upward against the straps that hold you closely to the berth, suddenly confronted with the last thing you remember. An overwhelming numbness, and below it, an incipient animating force creeping through your mind. You pull the straps and free yourself. Where is this? You glance around, taking in the small room with its knickknacks, tucked behind webbings. Its stained and worn storage units, its faded padding, this is someone's home. Cold light fills the room, and you float over to the dark squares at the window. You see stars. The bright pinpricks of drive trails and skeletal docking bridge. This is a station. A sudden hiss draws your attention. Bliss. Oh, from the last game. The entering figure jumps as they see you are awake. You're up. They hesitate in the doorway. Who are you? They nervously laugh. Right, we didn't meet. They glance back out the doorway. I am Bliss. Your crew are out. Sorry, they brought you here. Here? Right, this is my room. They glance around. Now, nothing much, I know. We're in my repair bay on the far spindle, if you know where that is. In the belt? Yeah, in the belt. Come on, let's go somewhere a little more comfortable. You're safe, don't worry. You follow them out into the corridor, gliding behind them. They move with ease. They move with the ease of someone who was either born in Zero-G or has spent most of their life in it. They guide you to an enclosed balcony, where a heavily scratched, thick acrylic door looks out onto the chaotic-looking wet dock. At the center of the dock is the rig, scratched and worn, but still your ship. A reassuring sight. What happened? Your ship, you were lucky. I heard your distress signal. I guess that expensive long-range array I was tricked into buying finally paid off. At least for someone. You were out cold when I got there, and I have been for all the cycles since. Your friend wasn't in great shape either, but he bounced back fast. I make a habit of doing that. Seraphin's voice makes you spin around. Good to see you. He can't suppress his smile. Are you okay? Don't start fussing over me, Sleeper. I'm good. Your eyes fall to Seraphin's bandaged abdomen. He notices and pulls his jacket over the wound. Certainly looks better than when you came in. You should have seen. Here. Seraphin pulls a few chips out of his bucket. Catch. He sings them over to Bliss. That's all I could get for now. What are you paying them for? Who do you think put the rig back together? Bliss looks at you apologetically. I know what it looks like, but I'm sorry, I can't work for free. Keeping this place going is bad enough. I get it. We're just thankful you towed us in. We aren't freeloaders. Bliss looks up between the two of you. I'll let you two catch up. I'm glad you're awake. We were worried. They pat you on the shoulder and glide back down the corridor. With Bliss gone, silence descends on you, and Seraphine both of you unsure what to say. Where's Junie? She's probably on the ship, working on that deck of hers. She's been useful. Not sure we would have got the district signal out without her. What do you remember? Lane. Lane? Seraphine looks out at the rig. He takes a breath. Export is gone. What do you mean? It's gone. Dropped off the map. No signal apart from the one sent from Phoenix ship. Give me a second, I gotta... Okay, I'm good. I don't know what happened. No one does. Your mind skips, unable to focus on the information you've just been told. You think of the constant activity of the bends. The rumble of Factory Row. Karsten. Gone. By the time Bliss reached us, we had drifted out of range. They couldn't have seen it go up, but I saw Sleeper. Something exploded, white hot. A moment later, the shockwave was on us. The rig was crippled. Engine kept firing, but guidance went offline, sending us arcing out across the belt. I managed to get her under control, but not before we started spinning. My restraints came loose and you weren't even strapped in, so we both got scrambled. I felt like being trapped in an auto wash. I'm impressed you made it, to be honest. A flesh and blood human would have been smashed to pieces. Is it our fault? Your guess is as good as mine. Would Lane do something like that? It doesn't make any sense. Utsubo is a gang. They run dark side. They don't go around blowing up stations. All anyone is seeing is debris and radiation. I picked up a lot of ship transponders before the rig went offline. Maybe some people got out. What now? One step at a time. You're in a rush? Already owe Bliss for the work they did on the rig, and it isn't finished yet. A few more cycles have been told. Bliss won't hold us hostage, but I don't like this. I'd like to skip out without paying, even if we could get the rig started. Bad karma. Beyond that, we need to work. Fuel, supplies, we got that. I need to make sure you are okay. I kind of need repairs. After that, I haven't heard of anyone coming after us, and if they did, they have to come through export, or what's left of it. The far spindle is way out of Lane's territory anyway. Call this bit of the belt the wash, and the stations here run differently than Darkside. So for now we have some freedom. Freedom to go broke, starve, and get into more trouble, that is. In honesty, I was hoping you might have some ideas. I want to explore the place. The far spindle, there's plenty to see. This is a free station, no one faction controls control, so it's quite a circus. Look, Sleeper, I'm not sure I can work right now. I just got kicked out of a salvage yard for passing out on the job. Even with the pain meds I've been able to scare up. I can fly, that's for sure. But you're going to need some crew if you want to do any serious work. I'm sorry. You need to be careful. I'm trying. He turns away. I'm going to take on nurse on the rig. I'm wiped. You look out at the rig as he leaves. The warm and softness of your waking moments now feeling like a distant memory. Is this what you wanted? Freedom? A chance to work for yourself, not Lane? Well, here it is, with all the problems and complications you could imagine. And at what cost? Could Lane have wiped out the export just to try to end you? But if not they, then who? Theories cloud your mind. Push them away. Now's not the time for theories. You take a breath, time to make a plan. You gain some glitch. Your current level of glitch is represented by the glitch clock. You can have a maximum of 6. Each level of glitch you gain will increase the chance of rolling a glitch dice. Each time you roll a glitch dice, you clear 1 level of glitch. A glitch dice has 80% chance of a negative outcome, and a 20% chance of a positive outcome. So it's really bad, basically. You find Junie in the airlock, her small collection of things crammed into her bag. I was coming to see you, I promise. I was waiting for you to wake up, but Seraphine said you were okay. That's okay. Thank you, Sleeper. I'm glad you're feeling better. While you were out, I was digging into the data I pulled from the core. There's a lot of stuff in there, but it's impossible to read. Either I'm decrypting it wrong or I don't have the right cipher. Whatever it is, I think it means that the data is important, or at least it was to Solheim. I need to find someone to help me pick away at it, to crack it open. That's what I'm going. We can take you there. No, look, after what happened with the rig, Bliss saving us, we're all lucky to be alive. I think I'm better off alone for now. Oh, some of the data I sold, just so I could buy myself a ticket to where I need to go. It's not much, but here, your share. I'll take that. You deserve more, I mean, I'm sorry. Good luck, Sleeper, and tell Seraphine goodbye for me. What are you chasing? I know there's a value, true value in the data, Sleeper, I know it. And I have a project to continue, I won't abandon. Maybe I can tell you about it another time. Well, I'll see you around. You watch her drift away down the docking tunnel into the far spindle, with questions still bouncing around your head. Maybe if your path cross again, you might be able to get some of them answered. Oh. Oh, that's a big station. We gotta go around exploring. Pinnacle Dock. Exploring, study the manifests. The core. Chat, explore the core. Ulysses Bay. Repairing the rig. The rig. A brief respite. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cycles. I still want to repair myself. The underhang. Can I try one of these dices? Nah. I'll try. Have the resident. Oh, positive outcome. Also, there's no chance of a neutral outcome, interestingly enough. Bleh. Alright. We can work here for energy. The spindle's edge. I can take shifts here. A kitchen. I can earn a meal, probably so I can impress Nemba. Nemba is too busy to spend too much time with anyone in the kitchen, but he does notice those who do good work. I can earn a meal over there. Okay, cool. And the cycle. I still need to repair myself. Really badly. One glitch dice. Surfen is still getting us supplies and stuff. Explore the core. Pretty please. Less energy. Keep it up. Keep it up. We got a new location already. Nice. Over here. I can buy cakes. I can order a rack. Rack is a seaweed-based liquor. If I spend enough time here, they can warm up to me. I mean, it's just cryo. It's cheap too. Well, compared to what all the money I have. The Far Spindle is an exhausting place to find freelancers. There's no shortage of spacers here. The corridors and bays strong with crews inbound and outbound, on or between contracts, trading stories, contacts, and materials. But whatever language, appearance, or code identifies someone as worth signing on with, you don't seem to have it. Perhaps it is because you're a new face or noticeably unsure. Or perhaps because you're a sleeper. You push it out at the back of your mind and instead focus on what's in front of you. The vast cylindrical tank at the center of Gaia's Gyre. The first time you entered the bar, you floated open mouthed, much like how the new arrivals do, at the center of the huge scalp stack, the biggest you've ever seen. Even now, your eyes are fixed on the fronds of seaweed that wave in the circulating water. Beyond the curve of dirty glass, you find it impressive. You take a sip of the harsh, saline-scented rack from its magnetic vessel, secured to the bar. As you suck on the straw, your eyes following the shift fronds, you hear someone clearing their throat beside you. Hypnotic, isn't it? Freelancer. The voice is low and rumbling, and comes from the large figure on the stool next to you. The fluorescent lights behind the bar glint in his eyes. I've heard talk you're hiring. The figure turns to face you. You don't recognize him, but in the shifting lights of the Gaia's Gyre, that isn't surprising. And you are? Yunjin, current freelancer. Currently freelance. He turns on his stool and leans back a little. The effect of his is screaming to impress you on his size, and you have to admit it works. Served a whole slate of crew out of the spindle. Cutters, mercenary extractors. Broad skill set, good work ethic, sense of humor, the full package. Humble too. He chunks with his tongue, smiling. I like you already. We're going to get on. I'll run anything out of the I'll run anything out of the far spindle. I'm tough and quiet, and you won't need to worry about me. What kind of work are we talking about? We can answer. A voice echoes from behind you. Yujin! Busy as ever, I see. Vesna. A captain. A group of 3 spacers drift up behind you. One of them is placing a heavy hand on your shoulder. She's fitted with metal optical implants, and you cannot see her eyes. The caustic light from the tank plays across her face. Too busy to keep in touch. I really don't like it when I have to come and find you. Vesna. Eugene nods politely. Do I look like I'm socializing? This is a meeting. Oh, a meeting. Is this what it is? Yes, Vesna, we're talking about your delivery, in fact. My friend here is being very helpful. That's right. Vesna turns to you with a raised eyebrow, but before you can speak, Eugene cuts in. This sleeper has a unique ability to extract data. Is it the kind of data you have been asking for? So if we can get back to it, that can deliver what you need. You know, Eugene, I'm pretty tired of this whole act. But in the end, it doesn't matter. Your eyes follow it down and see a dark boxy shape there. A weapon? You either deliver by the deadlines or you don't, and when you don't, I'll be happy to take you through the consequences. Until then, chat to whoever the hell you want. Vesna and the two spacers flanking her glide out of the bar, and Eugene watches them go with little emotion. So you were about to hire me? I was. Well then, we'll put that little interruption out of your mind. Vesna just wants to scare you off. Eugene looks away out of the door of the bar. Let's not let her. He pauses in silence for a moment, still looking away. You try to get a read on him, but his face is blank. Only his glittering eye hints at some rapid internal activity. He turns back to you and meets your eye. A sudden shift in his manner. If you need a crew, you need to work. And if you need to work, you need cryo, is that right? I can offer both. Hard work and a good contract with a good payout. You take me with you on this job of mine, and we'll split the take. Well, if you do, I'll consider signing on the long term. Think of that, no more recruiting. What's the job? Salvage. I know of a wreck untouched by the local crews, which recently turned up in the wash. It's just a little sunward from here, but its disabled transponder makes it invisible to anyone who doesn't know it's there. I had to squeeze the location out of the contact, but I'll share it with you for a straight split. Take me and your crew and we'll claim it all. It's really going to be a good payout. A really good one. Was the catch. No catch. Happy to take you off for elsewhere. I just feel like you were the right captain for this one. I'll be ready to go whenever you like. As a show of good faith, I'll also fly out with you on any job in the far spindle, but I'm not leaving the station with you yet. Not until we get my job done first. After that, we can talk flying together. No need to rush it. You step out of the bar looking to see if Vesna is nearby. You don't spot her any amongst the passing crew, but you can't help but imagine eyes on you in the bar. You shake it off, having become familiar with the feeling of being observed. What matters is that you have found yourself a crew member in a contract. Whether either will come good, it remains to be seen. Hey, +1 upgrade point. I have 3 points. I want to go to upgrade Endure. Yeah, okay. So I have less debuffs to my rolls. That should be the end of my glitch dices. I still need to repair myself. Pretty badly. You awake to the sound of blaring proximity alarms. You quickly unstrap from your bunk and dizzying glance around. Lane? Bounty hunters? You kick off and glide to the door. As you do, Bliss pops her head around. Sorry. In honesty, it's not my fault. Your wiring's all backwards. It takes you a moment to understand what's happening. You see yourself against the door frame. I'm a little jumpy. I get it. I didn't mean to wake you. It takes you a while to get ready and drift down to the mess to see what's happening. By then, Bliss has turned off the alarm. You find them unspooling wires from a hatch you'd never previously noticed in the mess's ceiling. Sir again, Sleeper. The voice comes through the ceiling panel, muffled and dull. You sit at the stool, neatly tucking your legs behind the crossbar. How are you doing? Me? I'm working. Helps keep my mind off things. What things? Bliss spins deftly, hooking their legs into the open ceiling so that, from your perspective, you hang upside down. They give you a look. Do you really want to know? A yawning serpent drifts in. I looked between the two of you amused. What are you both doing up so early? What? You didn't hear the alarm? Maybe a sleeper. You back to Bliss, but they have disappeared back into the ceiling panels. Serpent looks totally unaffected and hooks himself onto a stool, lazily sucking on the ration pouch. The screeching finally stopped. After a while, you kick off from your stool. Time to head out. Bliss rushes after you, stopping you in the passageway. I have something I want to show you. Bliss leads you to the main corridor into a corner of the ship you don't remember visiting before. You come into a room with low, sloped seating, a single round window illuminating some neat tool storage and a workbench set into the wall. Look, Bliss begins, and I'm no specialist, but I'm a quick learner and good at repairs, and I think you have need of me. They glance at you to tear the thick vinyl skin of your arm. Can I take a look? Yes, please. They smile and lead you towards the workbench. They turn your arm, looking at the tear from all angles. They reach over to the workbench and take a small sealant gun from the rack. Look at the setup. It's basic, but it looks clean and well organized. They gently close the tear with sealant, pressing the edges together so it closes up neatly. After they're done, they release your arms and you can barely see the scar. See? I know it's more serious than a tear, but I can handle it. You need repairs? Bring me some components to work with. Best quality you can find. The better the components, the easier they'll integrate with your systems. I'll do my best to keep you running. Why help me? You're a guest in my bay, and I can't have my guests' bodies collapsing now, can I? I think it benefits me if you think of me as indispensable. I should get back to fixing the ship. They leave you to the workshop along with the tools. Consider the particular qualities of your new friend. Yay, I cannot repair. Dice repairs are not available. Visit the workshop above. You can repair your dice at the rig workshop. You can only repair dice which are fully broken. Repairs require either scrap components or rare components. The better components you use, the less glitches you suffer. You cannot repair dice during a contract. Well, I have raw scrap. Yeah. I gotta get some scrap in that case. Where would I get that? The freight interchange. Sounds about right. Keep it up. Alright. Lost a bit of energy. Oh. As you get to the pinnacle docks, you hear shouting echoing down the corridor. You tentatively change directions, your eyes fixed ahead as the passage widens out into a large bay. Others rush past you, heading towards the commotion. Your eyes are drawn by the bay's vast viewing windows, which is currently being splattered with glittering shards of ice. In front of it, a dock worker is shouting to anyone who will listen. Spacers, workers of the far spindle, we need your urgent assistance. The water carrier's spring tide has suffered heavy damage in its transit from Wellspring. All able hands, we need to help you secure the cargo. Without this water, far spindle will struggle to support you. Please, any who are able, please help make yourself known. Behind him, a corona of ice ejects from one of the tanks, drawing a pale halo around the ship. Full of experienced looking spacers push through the crowd towards the front, and dock workers start to direct them to nearby bridges. Watch the scene unfold, hesitant in the face of making someone else's problem your own. Reroute the flow. Fix the repairs. I can't do that right now, but it looks like it's gonna have to happen. I have a job over there. Well, we don't have any scrap, so... Oh boy. I think I have to stop soon. You jerk suddenly awake. A fragment is loaded into your mind, a shard of sound, a signal, a tone. It resonates like tinnitus, obviously internal, inescapable. You look down to see your hands blurred, your fingers dancing as if they were typing. Your fingers flap like caught birds. Take control. It takes all your focus to settle them. You force yourself back into them, a sensation like squeezing on a tight pair of gloves. You fix your hands a little to feel them. What was that? As you take a deep breath to calm yourself. But as you do, you are reminded that you don't need to breathe. This is a claustrophobic sensation that you cannot shake. You get up, push off the wall, put on your clothes. Anything to escape the dreams that hover there in the back of your mind. Surfman drifts in casually, heading to his bunk. You can't shake the strange sensation that he's just drifting into your mind. He said, "Are you okay? You look terrible." Not really. You need to talk to me, Sleeper. He sighs. I know something happened back there. The explosion? Not the explosion. You saw it, Sleeper. Saw something change in your eyes. They were cold, fixed. I've never seen that before. But when you first met, I knew at once you were human. I knew because of your eyes. I never met a Sleeper before, but I knew immediately that you were no machine. It was obvious. But on the rig, I couldn't see that anymore. I don't know what happened. But what did it feel like? Try it. You close your eyes and recall the moment you remember Lane's voice, the rig hot, and then you see it. Thin and bright, like spider silk on thread. Sleeper, are you even listening? When did you get you checked? Surfin gives you a stubborn stare. This isn't just about you. Where? I've been asking around. There's another station near this one, Flotsam. It's a mess of an accumulation of wrecks and docked ships, but it also houses some of the best artificers in the wash. We should go there as soon as the rig is ready. Alright. Look, I know I don't know what it's like to be a sleeper. I understand that there are things you can't tell me, can't show me. But I do know how fear can keep you from doing what you need to do. I'm not going to nag you about it, but it needs to be done. You get dressed, feeling your body's strangeness even though you wish you didn't. At the very least, you think you need to find someone who can stop you falling apart. Maybe Platinum is not such a bad idea. You push the thought to the back of your mind. There's more cycles to go through. Let me eat a bit. No, not earn a meal. I need to spend money for that. I want to spend money for that. What if I buy the kelp cakes? That gives me +4 energy. And over here, do we even have a chance to do this? We're not doing so hot. If I fail, am I gonna progress the leak, the cycle, the thingy? Just lose some energy. Not the end of the world. Bleh. Well, we just gotta get some good dices, basically. Repairs are almost done. Aha, good dices. As you drift lazily down the ship's mess, you hear raised voices. You still yourself for a moment at the entrance. Surfin sits, hooked on the usual stool, his slate glowing beside him. He's shaking your head as you enter. Bliss, meanwhile, is floating freely and gesticulating sharply as they explain something important. I don't see why not. It's not like you have an alternative. We can get the cryo out. It'll take time, but we can get it. That was the deal. Sleeper. Let's see what the Sleeper thinks about it. What is it? The rig's ready, Sleeper. I fixed it. Hell, I've improved it. She's purring thanks to me. Now, would you say I've done such an incredible job I deserve to be paid properly for my work? A refit and retune like this would typically cost my clients hundreds of cryos, even if I was feeling charitable. Serpent sighs loudly. He knows where this is going. See, I could make you pay, and maybe you could even scrape the cryo up, but not without taking a contract and taking this ship off station, leaving me in a lurch. We wouldn't do that. So I have a proposition, one that will clear the debt completely. I will turn around the open sign on this little bay of mine and join up with you. You keep me in work, give me my split, and give me transit to wherever you are headed. I'll even keep this rig of yours working for free. What would that be? What could be better than that? Us paying and being on your way, with no hangers on? We could use their help. See, Sleeper gets it. You can use my help. I'm an excellent engineer, a tidy shipmate, and a half-decent chef. I'm done with the far spindle. I'm done taking not enough jobs for not enough cryo on a station where I know nobody. You're welcome. Look, we appreciate it, but we are on the run, Bliss. Trust me, you're better off here. Even telling you this could put you in danger. On the run? You're expecting to be scared about that goofy shit? So we have no choice? Doesn't look like it, does it? Well, she can repair me, so that'll be good. I know you were at export. What happened there? Who's to say it won't happen here? I'm not sitting around watching this play out any longer. Something has to give. Bliss turns to Seraphin. Look, you've done your due diligence or whatever, you're on the run. I've been warned. I accept the risk, that's it. At the end of the day, your ship is clamped into my bay, so unless you know my encryption protocols, there's not much left to discuss. They've got us there. Look, we've gained a crewmate, but I'm moving to the engine room. Sleeper, welcome aboard. They give you a half-hearted mock salute. You leave Bliss in the galley and head for the cockpit. Where to take the rig next? You're on the belt map. Go to the map and press the belt button to travel to the other hubs. And discover new parts of the Starward belt. I want to help them with the repairs first, though. Hopefully we can save this before it dies. Oh boy. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tight. Hopefully we get paid for this. Or something. I'd rather not do this for free. Decent dices. We could finish the job, maybe. Maybe not. We'll see. Oh. It's close. Hey, done. And I can now upgrade. You watch from the docking bay's viewing window as the crumbled vast hull of the spring tide is finally welded shut by a score of bright torches, flickering against its side. Malik, experienced water hauler captain. Everywhere I look, I see a crisis. The voice comes beside you, and you turn to see a man floating and watching the repair work. I saw you out there, helping the crew. The far spindle needs that water. You aren't wrong. I haven't seen on the spindle before. What, if I may ask, is your business here? I'm escaping someone. I'm going to take that as a portent at humor. Springtide is my ship. At least I'm her captain. I do not own her. The Lothic Syndicate, my employer, was the one who put her into service. Glad to meet you. You have my thanks for assisting with the repairs. We were caught by some autonomous Comne munitions. The wellspring runs is getting more dangerous every cycle, and after export, I do not expect things to improve. Tell me, as a sleeper, do you have an advantage over others, or does your particular condition provide only weaknesses? There are advantages. Certainly you show this with your work on the Sprigtide. Your work on my ship only evidences your ability. You far outperform even my own crew, in conditions that are usually deadly. Sadly, despite even the good work, our losses have been great. The administration at the Far Spindle are not happy. We are to be impounded here until the Lodic Syndicate fulfills the agreed water freight. This war continues to pressure the belt. What will you do? This is where you are needed, Sleeper. My crew tells me you have a ship, you have workers. This is what I need. As we fled from the Conway attack, our navigator registered something of great interest, a water-rich asteroid, the one that I believe is previously unknown to the Syndicate. For now, I have sworn him to secrecy, as I must you. But if this asteroid would be surveyed, its value confirmed, it would more than make up for the shortfall of the Springtide. I want you to survey the asteroid for me. It is a simple enough job. Its location so close to the edge of the wash is problematic. You have shown yourself to be very competent. If you are careful, and there is no reason you should have problems with Conway or any hostile party for that matter. Hostile party? The wash is where the orbits of the inner systems of the Starward belt conspire to bring vessels, objects, and all kinds of wanderers together. It's a territory. I will reimburse you for a portion of the fee, 250 cryo for my offer. Okay. The Syndicate only cares about its water delivered, and its fee is paid. I'm free to make sure it happens. Mike passes you a thumbnail drive. Here are the details on the test. I need you to run the survey. A simple core of ice from deep within the asteroid could give you enough materials to work with. The crew's coming along. This is a delicate matter, Sleeper. Survey the regard can return to my and I'll broadcast the results to my personal terminal. The frequency is in the data. The results go to me, only to me. Then once the matter is resolved, you will be paid. I am needed, but I expect you have all you need. With that, he bows a little and drifts away. After watching him, you turn back into the Springtide. You imagine that any captain of the ship like that has been through a lot to get to where they are. That makes them a valuable ally or dangerous adversary, depending on where you are. New contract available. Let me undo the debuff. And I think I'm gonna explore a bit. Explore. Come on. Yay! Okay, and we're off to... What's it called? We have 2 contracts here. Oh, we have a much bigger fuel reserve. Belt. I want to go to Flotsam. Debris required. Hasnav required. Impassable. Impassable. He uses 4 fuel to go to Flotsam. And we have some contracts. I'm hoping at Flotsam I can get some scrap to repair myself. We'll do that tomorrow. And that's it for today. That was the beginning of the Citizen Sleeper 2. Starward Rimworld belt. I don't remember. Vector, Star, good stuff. Anyway,